Welcome in Wednesday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio, Ole Miss and Texas A&M tonight from the Pavilion. 8 o'clock tip for that one. The back end of some sort of doubleheader. Those are the games tonight as well. Florida, South Carolina, and Arkansas, Georgia. So we'll talk a good bit about some basketball today. Got a few football topics probably as well here on a pretty chilly Wednesday morning in Oxford. I think 10, 11 degrees outside, something like that here. So be dripping some faucets, all that kind of stuff. Avoid those frozen pipes. We're still in the middle of this week of a cold snap here locally in Lafayette County. So all those things and more. Blue Sky locations all throughout the state of Mississippi, up and down I-55, throughout North Mississippi. You got Sweet Daddy's locations at a lot of those different stops. Those you get ribs, you get pulled pork, you get side items, desserts, lunch specials, and plenty more here locally in Oxford. That means $5.69 for a couple sides bread and any size fountain drink. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi. 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for my friend Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you are looking for. He will send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. It's right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. Shop it around, of course. Or you can do what I've done many times. I'll probably be doing again fairly soon. That's hopping into a Clark Ford today. Great service. You build a relationship with Corey and the people there. They'll take great care of you. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Yeah, 3 degrees, Mark says, in Lafayette, Louisiana yesterday.
Wow.
It's probably a low there. I saw one of the newscasters for WWL. He had his he had a ruler out in his backyard in the French Quarter, a little over 12 inches.
Wow.
In New Orleans. I've seen pictures of them skating down Bourbon Street yesterday, or skiing, down Bourbon Street yesterday.
It's incredible. I was watching the radar. It was wild to sort of see the fronts collided, and it was cold, and the moisture from the Gulf turned into snow.
I mean, a buddy of ours sent some picture yesterday. I think there was seven inches on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, the Biloxi, Pascagoula area last night, something like that. So, yeah,
crazy.
Just a little nuts. So, all you guys are staying warm with that. Again, Ole Miss, Texas A&M tonight, 8 o'clock from the Pavilion. 3 different games. I think Ole Miss favored by 3.5 in this one tonight. They are the over/under on this game. 141.5, I believe, is what I saw this morning. Might have posted 141.5, around 70 points expected per team here in this game. So Wade Taylor back. Chris Beard mentioned it yesterday on this here podcast, right? That they are undefeated in games he has played so far this season. A&M, a very physical team on the boards. They can muddy it up. They can be pretty dominant inside at times. What's kind of your thoughts on tonight as we get going?
I don't know. I wouldn't bet it. Could go either way. I mean, Ole Miss is going to have to rebound the ball better. Obviously, they can't have that performance on the boards and beat Texas A&M. A&M's maybe the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Veteran team. It's Buzz. They're gonna be well coached. They're gonna attack you. They're gonna be prepared. They're gonna be relentless. That's what they are. It'll be a challenge. I wouldn't touch that betting line. If you told me I had to put money on something, I'd probably go under. But
the under feels the safest spot if you want to do something.
I'm not good at college basketball betting. I don't spend anywhere near enough time on that stuff to be good at it.
See, Texas A&M currently sitting around 18 in the Ken Palm. In the net, they are sitting at 19. So pretty glorified air as most of the games are. I mean, we were talking about that yesterday. We talked about it with Beard. I mean, Ole Miss sitting here currently with 5 wins against quad 1 teams. And because of the schedule and whatnot, it's hard to fall out once you start playing nothing but good teams. So, I mean, from a resume standpoint, Ole Miss sitting 13 in the net and 5-3 against quad ones, 2-0 against quad two, 1-0 against quad three, and 7-0 against quad four today. It's a lot of quad fours, but whatever.
Yeah, their December home schedule was left something to be desired.
That's the third most quad one wins in the country behind Oregon, who's 7-2 in quad one games, by the way. And 6-4 for the Kentucky Wildcats. And then Ole Miss has 5. Sorry, Auburn is number one. They are 10-1 against quad one teams today.
Yeah.
I apologize. Ole Miss is tied for 4th in quad one wins with Iowa State, Alabama, and Tennessee at 5. That is the
yeah. I mean, look, it's the great thing about the league this year is that it's hard to fall. The bad thing about the league this year is it's hard to accumulate wins. Everyone's precious, and A&M's really good. Chris Beard yesterday at a media thing, there's a story up at rebelgrove.com. He referred to Texas A&M as one of the teams that you could probably put on two hands that he could see winning the whole thing. Oh. Chris Beard. So I'm sure if Ole Miss wins by 11, someone will go, you said they were going to win the national championship. No, I didn't. But that's what – he's not a big – now he's kind of hyperbolic on teams.
On non-league.
Everybody being really good. I don't know that he's particularly hyperbolic on who's capable of winning a title.
It's a different conversation.
So, that's what he said. You can agree with him. You can disagree with him. I'm cool either way. I'm quoting what he said.
As you said, and it is correct. I'm staring at it right here. Texas A&M is the number one offensive rebounding team in the country. They are number one in that stat.
And Ole Miss is not good at rebounding.
They get an offensive rebound on 43% of their offensive possessions. Ooh.
Yeah, well, it's not
a big number.
As Chris said yesterday, and if you've ever watched A&M play, you know that's not coincidental. That's not just hustle. Jeez. They
don't just try really hard and do that.
They continue to run their offense once the shot goes up. They don't take the shot and then revert into a different – they just keep running offense. So a lot of times that means a ball comes off the rim and a guy's moving towards the ball. They're incredible. This will be a very well-coached basketball game.
They are, however, and this is where Ole Miss has to win the game. A&M has this rebounding advantage. Ole Miss has a turnover advantage. They typically protect the basketball and get the basketball from you. And Texas A&M offensively is 160th nationally in turnovers.
Yeah.
They will hand you the basketball if you'll take it.
Yeah, so the two things to watch for are second chance points for A&M and then points off turnovers for Ole Miss. Those two numbers, if you're getting deep into the box score as the game goes along, those two numbers are probably going to tell you a whole lot about what's about to happen.
Texas A&M is 38th nationally in adjusted offense, and they are 11th nationally in adjusted defense. Now, again, they've played a couple games, at least 3 without Wade Taylor the fourth, who's been their top player for multiple seasons now. However, from a win-loss standpoint, those are not – the 2 games they lost without Taylor, not something that's going to really bang them up. That was against Alabama at home, 94-88, and then in Rupp Arena, 81-69. So nothing there that's going to harm them. They currently just have 3 losses on the season. They have a loss to the Oregon team I mentioned a second ago, 80-70 earlier in the season. And then in league play, they have the win over LSU in the last time out with Taylor back. That was at home. They have the win at Oklahoma, 80-78, and then they have a win against Texas in the SEC opener, 80-60 in College Station. That is their situation to date. They also, from a common opponent, just good team standpoint, they have a win over Purdue. They have a win over Texas Tech. They have a win over Rutgers, who does have some talent on that team.
Yes.
They have a win over number 21 Creighton. They have the loss to Oregon. They have a win over Ohio State, who's kind of hit or miss. And then they have a loss, in the season opener. I missed this one, 64-61 to UCF. I do recall that now as I see it here. So that is where they are sitting right now. It's a good team. Everybody's good. It is what it is. Find a way to win your home games.
Yeah, no, they're really good.
Gets that opportunity tonight.
Yeah.
That is part of 3 games on tonight inside the SEC. The other ones, the number 5 Florida Gators are at South Carolina. South Carolina 10-8 overall, 0-5 in the SEC. And the Auburn game is the best game they have played. Now, they lost it, but that was the best game they've played to date. Florida on the road, a 10.5-point favorite tonight. In this one, over under of 144.5. That's a huge line on the road.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I don't.
I'm not no Moss. I'm good there. No way.
I've bet one college basketball game in my entire life, and I'll probably.
You won it?
I did. I'll probably.
It got a little tight for a minute.
It did. I'll probably leave it at that.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm enough of an expert on that to even touch it.
You're not going a couple hundred tonight in the Criteria Club?
No.
Well, that's just analytics, though. You're just putting it doesn't require thought and feels and vibes. The vibes don't matter in that one.
I like money way too much.
Well, if it wins, you get more money.
And if you don't, and it's out of your control.
Gambling. It'll pay off.
For all the talk we do about gambling and stuff, I don't gamble.
I mean, if you bet enough of it, you'll always win because you just double your bet every time. And eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. One will hit.
Yeah.
That's playing the odds right there.
I've not bet real money on a game in years.
What year was that? Like,
Andy was the coach.
It's like 13 or 14,
something
15.
Like that. Yeah.
Well, no, it's got to be after that because it was a bad Ole Miss team. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a good team.
Yeah. Georgia at Arkansas was your other game tonight. That is a 1.5-point Arkansas favorite.
That's at
against
home,
Mike
right?
White and the Bulldogs. Yeah.
Aren't they at home?
Yeah. They're 0-5 in the SEC. I mean, if you're Georgia, this is one you at least go in and go, hey, can we get this one? Get to 3-3? Like, we're kind of treading because, I mean, I think Georgia's completely fine at the moment, but they are one of your risky bubble teams just because of record and kind of where they are in this thing of falling into that 7-11 situation where I don't know where that's at. And then Arkansas, I've seen on the message board, Arkansas, one of their best players is out or left or gone or something.
Have you
seen this?
I have not.
Okay. The message board was saying that Flan is off the team currently.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That game's at 8 o'clock, SEC Network. Florida, SEC Network at 6, so that is a doubleheader there. And then Ole Miss and Texas A&M, 8 o'clock on ESPN2 for their game, 8 o'clock. Yeah, there's that one. I wish I liked anything. Go ahead.
Be a late night.
Game will be over 10:15, maybe.
If we're fortunate. Depends on if it's a ref show. I anticipate leaving the arena by midnight.
Well, the state game went almost 3 hours?
Yeah.
Or maybe even almost clipsed it.
It was a long game. Now, the LSU game was an hour and 50. So
somebody sent us the box score the other day on Twitter of the Fordham UMass game because there were 120-something free throws.
Please
in the game.
I don't want to talk about it.
120-something free throws.
Mm-mm.
The SEC, for the most part, has let teams play. There have been a few ref show stoppages, but for the most part, given the physicality in the league, they've done a pretty good job of letting it flow. And
I thought they kind of let Ole Miss and State play. It just got physical.
Rothstein reporting Flan out for the season with a hand injury.
Oh.
Wicked says.
Okay.
I just having a hard time getting Arkansas to many wins at all. He's out. You kind of get behind the 8 ball early.
Yeah. I just haven't.
I kind of like Georgia tonight.
Yeah.
On the road.
I just hadn't seen. I've seen Georgia once, and I've probably seen Arkansas once. So it's hard to say. I don't know.
Got some games on. I'm just going to quickly look at this because I was curious. Saturday, some intriguing games as far as like home teams trying to get one to salvage the thing. You got Vanderbilt at home against Kentucky. If they have any hope, they kind of need that one. They've done a good job, 3-3.
Yeah, I was going to say Vandy's in good shape.
Yeah, 15-4, 3-3. Texas is at home against A&M, so interesting game there.
Yeah,
Texas did get a win last night.
Did they?
They knocked off Missouri.
Oh, wow.
Night. Yeah. Last night, let's see, 3 games last night. The 2 favorites at home, they won. Alabama dispatched to those Commodores to pull them to 3-3 at 103-87 at Coleman Coliseum. So Bama back over the 100-point mark again. They had a 17-point lead at halftime and then coasted home the rest of the way. Against Vanderbilt. Mississippi State really, really, really struggled early offensively. Just couldn't get any points down against Tennessee in that really good defense. Tennessee,
what was that final?
68-56, but it was 34-16 at the break. So State had 16 points at halftime, and that was even after making a couple. Like, they were stuck at like 6-8 points 12 minutes into the game, something like that.
Oh,
I mean, just had not scored at all. Tennessee 17-2 now, 4-2. State 15-4, 3-3 of their last 4. It's schedule losses because of home and away and stuff, but they're 1-3 in their last 4.
Oh, okay.
For the Bulldogs now. And then last night I mentioned Texas because they desperately needed that one as well. They are now 2-4 in the SEC, 13-6 overall after a 61-53 win over Missouri in Austin last night. So
63-51.
61-53.
61-53.
Yes, 8-point win there for Texas against Missouri. Rest of the slate on Saturday, Mississippi State's at South Carolina, Kentucky at Vanderbilt, previously mentioned, Texas A&M at Texas, Georgia is at Florida Saturday, Tennessee is at Auburn Saturday. I'd like to see what the 7:30 ESPN at Neville Arena for that one. LSU is at Alabama, and Oklahoma is at Arkansas. So, I mean, Ole Miss Missouri might be the second or third best game of the day. Something like that. It's Ole Miss, Missouri, Kentucky, Vanderbilt for number 2.
Yeah.
After, obviously, Tennessee and Auburn.
Did you watch a lot last night?
No, I did not. I kept up with it. It's just kind of what I've been doing. Sort of, if it gets late and it's close, I'll turn it on and whatnot. But no, I had parental duties and things, and I was not. I was really not locked in front of the TV at all last night. I was kind of doing stuff and occupied and whatnot. So no, none of those games were like, hey, I better go make sure we're sitting there. But I'd pull it up on my phone every 20 minutes or so and just go, okay, it's fine.
I was cool. I was more interested in other things. I basically forgot it was on. If I don't go into a room where it's on, I'll forget that it's on.
Wow, Wicked says 8 minutes left in the first half. Texas Mizzou was like 13-8.
Oh.
Some bad offense to go with good defense.
It's also really good coaching, and everybody studies everybody, and everybody's locked in. We're deep into the season now. You know what people's tendencies are. If someone drives to the right, you're taking away the right. I mean, we're that's simple, but everybody knows what's coming.
That and I'm not blaming us because it would have been. I mean, A, I'm not going to give that away. Period. But 2, wasn't going to answer yesterday. That is the interesting thing to me, though, is how coaches do try to fix these things or adjust in the middle of a season when you just have a 2-day turnaround. And you heard Beard go, well, hey, we really got to fix these slow starts, fix the rebounding. It's like, okay, but what does that mean? How? Why? Like, how do you do that in a 2-hour practice on a Tuesday? I mean, it's
from his answers yesterday, it's getting guys to play more aggressively. It's getting guys to be more assertive. It's getting guys to understand that if you're not aggressive, you're not really helping.
You're just standing around.
Just
taking up space.
Playing basketball, but he needs them to be more intentional. You see that at the NBA level a lot too. There's guys that haven't figured out exactly how to take over a game. Scouting's good. There's a lot there. Winning's hard. It is. It's hard to win. You got to be, and it's hard to keep winning once you start winning. Once you get people's attention. I mean, the Malik Dia thing comes to mind. He had 2 huge games. State scouted the hell out of him. They game planned for him. And he didn't adjust to it. So tonight, A&M's going to game plan for him. His ability to adjust from what happened Saturday to what happens tonight is pretty big for Ole Miss, probably. He's a big. They need him to do a lot of things.
Yeah, it was never going to be as easy as that one night. I mean, you got a really good analogy. Yeah, it's absolutely the hitter who's got the hole and you fix it and then you wait and you see what the counter is. And then once you counter, you get into some equilibrium.
Yeah.
A baseline starts to emerge and you get, okay, that's kind of what he is and what he's going to do. And
it's like I've got a mailbag.
There's not a counter to the counter necessarily.
I've got a mailbag question about the NBA, and it's a frustrating question because it's one of those things. I get the perception, but no, the reality is as the season gets going in both college and pro in basketball, scoring becomes more difficult because I know what the stereotype is, but the truth is teams start spending even more and more of their practice time on defense, on specific plans, on taking things away. And teams have to adjust. And that's happening to Ole Miss. It's going to happen to Ole Miss. Teams are not just going to let Malik Dia pick and pop you to death. They're not. They're gonna now that they've seen that he'll turn the ball over, they're gonna challenge him until he stops turning the ball over. They're gonna run a second defender at him. They're gonna make him make a fast decision. They're not gonna let him set and play pick and pop, pick and roll. They're gonna take that away if they can. That's what showed up on film. People looked at the film from the Alabama game and said, okay, here's what he did. We can't let him do that to us. How do we eliminate that? Run another defender at him. Get the ball out of his hands. Chris Jans is a really good coach. Buzz Williams is a really good coach. Dennis Gates is a really good coach. It's a league full of really good coaches. They're going to study a lot. They're going to watch a lot of film. Chris Beard's not the only coach in the league that comes home from a game and studies film all night. They're all that way for the most part. And so, it's going to become a slog. You're going
league play is not the Audubon. You're going to have some stuff.
You're going to have multiple ways to score points, multiple ways to beat people, and what you do well, you have to do well, and what you do poorly, you have to try to negate as much as possible. Because no, Ole Miss is not going to become a great rebounding team on January the 22nd. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But you can try to become a less bad rebounding team. You can negate that.
8 o'clock tonight, Ole Miss A&M. Move on with some other basketball conversation in a second. First, you've had Wendy's Nugs dipped in sauce. You've had them covered in sauce. New saucy nugs. Take the crispy and spicy nugs you love and turn them up to 11. Choose from flavors like buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm. If you're a real heat seeker, try spicy ghost pepper. Only on Wendy's signature spicy nugs. I dare you. 7 delicious ways to try the nugs you already love. Pick a flavor, grab some napkins, and prepare to nug like you've never nugged before. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's. A participating U.S. Wendy's.
Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, or Tupelo, the surrounding area, call our friends at Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, South Haven, those areas, get in touch with our friends at Southern, 662-429-4429. We're brought to you by Window Hero, from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, everything in between. Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. They've got specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, satisfaction guarantee, and more. So get in touch with Roby and Susan Allen at Window Hero, 662-510-7077 or windowhero.com. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with the personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Got Valentine's Day about 3 weeks away or so. Arnett's can take care of you. It's Arnett's Fine Jewelry. It's a fourth-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, pretty much everything you could possibly want in jewelry. It's great for gifts, birthdays, Valentine's Day, graduation, anniversary, whatever the case may be. Arnett's wants to be your jeweler. And we're brought to you by Argent. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com.
The Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom is located on the Ole Miss campus and aims to explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring along lots of networking potential. That starts even back this week. To learn more, contact Rankin Sherling at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu. Ole Miss announcing here a few minutes ago, just see this in a press release. I heard it was coming. They are changing the title and the job responsibility of Matt McLaughlin, who I think has been number 2 in the foundation for a while, now to head up their revenue sharing and strategy related to that. The new title is Senior Associate AD for Strategy and Cap Management. So, financial vision for recruitment, retention, NIL, including fostering brand partnerships to optimize NIL opportunities. Also working with coaching staffs to develop and implement revenue sharing models and scholarship allocations while driving fundraising efforts, engaging donors, and coordinating cross-functional collaborations, per press release a few minutes ago while we were talking. So, cap management's correct. That is a very apt, correct term as we move forward in this era.
Interesting though, the word cap.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
$20.5 million.
If I were a player, I would question who agreed to the cap.
Well, you didn't have to get shit though. So I
but they didn't agree to a cap.
I have no patience with players at this point. I just none. Maybe it's bad, but I don't. I just have no patience.
I catch myself laughing at everybody because I've been saying all along when everybody goes, it's pro sports, I'm like, except you don't have a collective bargaining agreement, which is a key tenet to pro sports. They have structure. You don't.
But it's also an impossibility to do. There's just too many people and too many different things.
Because it was never designed for the kids to make $800,000.
Yeah.
That was never the point.
I mean,
it's stupid.
Getting a bargaining group together would be an impossibility.
As someone who has kids in college with 30 plus ACTs and student loans and stuff, I have no sympathy for the college football player who's bitching about not making more than $200,000. None. Zero. Zip. Sorry. I have none. Now, I'm on the other side. I think if you want to declare for the NFL out of high school, you should be able to. If you want to go to the NFL after 1 year out of high school, you should be able to. I'm not for rules that limit that. I don't think college baseball kids should be committed to 3 years in college. I think if you're ready to go after 1 year, you should be able to go. I don't really care about structure of roster building. But if we're going to talk about the money, that's where I stand. It's pretty. I have a very fundamental view of it. It's amateur sports.
It is.
So when you make amateur sports pro sports, you either need some sort of a collective bargaining agreement or you should admit that they're just amateur sports. Now, if you come at this back at me from nothing but a fan perspective, I get why you have a fan opinion. This is not a fandom thing one way or the other. This is me looking at it practically.
And it's the problem they have is you start signing these multi-year deals that aren't binding in any capacity whatsoever most of the time. And you go, well, we have a contract. Well, you do, but you don't.
And so we're going to – and so when we go to Nashville, for example, Grind reminds me of this. When we go to Nashville, for example, for the SEC basketball tournament, and I don't even know who does this stuff now. I guess it's still Claude Felton. And maybe he's retired now, so I don't know who will do it. When they bring – Ole Miss beats LSU on Thursday night, okay?
Sure.
And they bring the LSU kids in, Matt McMahon and his 2 players. Hey, we're going to take questions for the student athletes now so that they can depart. Okay. Why?
I've always done this.
We're playing this game now because they got to go study? That's just call them players.
And they're up here on the thing with them. Y'all ask questions. Go ahead.
Ask questions you ever you want to ask to. If you have questions for the players, you can ask them. If you don't.
Yeah.
And then when they get finished, bring in Chris Beard and the 2 Ole Miss players. But instead, they'll go, we'll be questions. We'll get an opening statement from Coach Beard and then questions for the student athletes.
Yes. We'll release them, and then we'll have questions for Coach Beard.
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. That's if I have a complaint with it, all of it is that we're not being honest. Let's be honest.
Back to the basketball thing a little bit. ESPN putting out a big analytics article this morning says that 10.8 SEC teams are projected to make the field as of this moment.
I mean, 11 teams from the SEC are making the field.
Lenardi has 12 in his bracketology, but they have that currently from a stat standpoint, a number standpoint. They have let's see, got it right here. The locks, which means 95+% chance of making the NCAA tournament at this date. There are 5 of those in the SEC. Auburn at 100,
Alabama, Tennessee,
all those at 100.
Florida
97,
and Kentucky
96.
Okay,
yes, 96% or better for those 5 teams. These should be in, and this article says that, frankly, because of the high percentages, they're all getting pretty close to locks as well.
Ole Miss, State.
86 for Ole Miss, 90 for State.
Yeah. Probably Vanderbilt.
No.
Okay.
A&M, 94%.
Oh, yeah, A&M, yeah.
And they still have Texas at 88% despite the league record.
Yeah.
So 88% for Texas. So should be in 94, 90, 88, 86 for those 4. Work to do, which is 30% to 70% to make the tournament. Vandy, 24%. They're all over the place on metrics for Vanderbilt right here. There's a whole section of the story talking about that.
Georgia.
54% currently. Missouri, 52%. And then, as they say, fading very quickly, but they're still being bolstered a little by the early games. It's Arkansas at 39%, but it's starting to get dark early.
Yeah.
Oklahoma currently at 39% as well. And then outside looking in, LSU 21% and South Carolina 3% at this.
They're going to get 11 bids.
Says the models are all over the place on Vanderbilt, but BPI is much lower on them than the overall meta forecast average of 57%. Up and down in conference play, blah, blah, blah. I got the one over Tennessee. And they play the hardest remaining schedule in the country the rest of the way. So you have that for the Commodores. That's what it says. They also admit that Georgia's probably in better shape than the metrics are giving them currently because they are 26th in the net and 35th in the BPI at the moment.
They also have Asa Newell.
They do.
He's going to win a game or 2 by himself.
It says Texas has the most work to do out of that group. That it's pretty close to being locks because they have the 46th strength of record, and they are 1-6 against the top 50 to date for the Longhorns. So they have that problem when looking at
big win for them last night. Then,
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. That was big. Big Ten 1, 2, 3, 4 locks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 should be in. Now, there should be in, though, starts at 87%, whereas Ole Miss was the last of the should be ins for the SEC at 86%. So it shows you how many more almost guarantees there are in the SEC at this point. Big 12's got like 5 or 6 locks, but then it really falls off for them after that. Like BYU is their next team at 73%. Comes off pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
They list Louisville as one of the enigmas from the analytics standpoint for the ACC. Said that currently they have work to do. They're only 49% despite the gaudy league record to date for the Cardinals.
But their net's up in the 20s, right? Yeah.
Why don't the Cardinals boast a better tournament probability in the analytics? A big part has to do with a gap between their perceived quality and BPI, 41st, versus other ratings. They're 29th in KenPom, 30th in Torvik. Filters in the projected schedule going forward, where Louisville faces both SMU and Pitt one more time, along with a game against a number of the non-zero tournament probability teams listed below as well. The tournament bid makes a big difference to the ACC bubble as a whole because it determines the cut line and who gets in. Duke is the only lock in the ACC, by the way. That's it.
Yeah.
North Carolina State, I think, up next, like 88%, something like that. So
that league's falling off because they have less money to pay players.
It's not complicated. League's investing in money.
It's probably why I'm not great at this. I'm not good at creating the drama. It's like, why is the SEC and the Big Ten getting all the teams in? Because they're paying the most players.
Lenardi has Vandy as one of the last 4 buys, so would be getting in the bye game thing. They have Texas as one of the first 4 out. So he has 12 teams in with Texas first 4 out for a 13th.
Yeah.
At this point. Again, Auburn a 1 seed as of today. State a 4 seed as of today. A&M a 5 seed as of today. Kentucky a 3. Missouri a 7. Purdue a 2, by the way. Tennessee a 2. Alabama a 1. Georgia an 8 in Lenardi's bracket. So he has them very comfortably in. Kind of a resume. I mean, quality of games is much tougher because the SEC is way better, but
I mean,
kind of in line for some of that Kermit kind of thing in his first season where he gets the 8 seed despite their conference record. Do what?
What's Georgia's net? I mean, it was on Sunday, it was 27. They're in. I mean,
26 right now.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah, it's 26 of this morning. Ole Miss a 4. Memphis a 5. Lenardi has Louisville a 6.
I mean, their net's in like.
Well, again, they're projecting games going forward, though. So they're saying they're not getting anything good the rest of the way, and there's a bunch of chances to suck.
To lose, yeah.
So then you get into a mess. Florida a 2, Vanderbilt a 10. Lenardi's bracket has them setting up as a second-round game if they both win, by the way. Has them in the same pod.
Who?
Florida and Vanderbilt.
Oh, I don't think that's allowed.
Can you avoid it if you get like 14 teams in or something?
I don't know.
The way it works? I mean, I have no idea.
They're supposed to avoid it.
Not let conference teams play each other until the Sweet 16.
That's supposedly one of the rules. I mean, I guess if it's unavoidable, it is what it is.
And then Oklahoma at 10 to finish it out.
Oh.
Indiana in a play-in game, but they really, really, really want to run out Mike Woodson.
They do.
They are tired of Mike Woodson. They are done with his shenanigans, I believe, there in Bloomington.
It'll be interesting.
What was Dan Hurley mad about last night?
I don't know.
Did you see that?
I did not. I've done a really poor job the last several days of keeping up with the sports world.
Well, I saw this clip because Monpo put it out. So they were they beat Butler 80-78 last night. And at one point, he was caught on camera telling the official, "Don't turn your back on me. I'm the best effing coach in the sport." Sorry. So he was very angry at one of the officials.
I mean, he's very good.
He's not wrong, probably, but still. Complaining about what he thought was a foul on an offensive rebound attempt after the game. He said he was looking for more, quote, communication from officials. He also complained about how often the TV cameras focus on him. Quote, "I just wish they put the cameras on the other coach more. I wish they would show the other coaches losing their minds at the officials in Big East games that I'm coaching where I'm not talking to officials. I see the other coaches as demonstrative as I am, but the camera, obviously, I've created this for myself. I'm not the victim." So he's frustrated that he's being labeled a maniac because they are not showing the other coach in the game when he gets frustrated with the officials.
That's fair.
It's fair.
I mean,
you also got 2 rings and you just called yourself the best coach. They're going to look at you more. I'm just
he's a really good coach.
I mean, he's not wrong, and I'm having a hard time getting the small violin out for him right now. It's okay.
I don't feel bad for him, but I get what he's saying. I mean, you got media does that. We just watched it on Monday. It happened again on Monday with media and selective bias.
It's true. I mean, Grind says it. I mean, Hurley is kind of making them a draw because while they're the back-to-back defending national champions, they're just kind of okay. I mean, they're good, but they're not great.
They don't have the money to keep up with the Big Ten and the SEC.
But then people like watching him, so the camera's showing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I get caught doing it. I'm like, yeah, I like to see whatever he's doing today.
I can't help but wonder if he kind of wishes he'd gone to Kentucky or the Lakers. Probably Kentucky.
Yeah, the Lakers never felt real to me. I don't know.
Apparently it was. It was his job if he wanted it. Had he taken it, it was his job.
You don't think it was a cover in any way? To make it easier to hire Reddick.
The best I can tell, it was his job if he wanted it. Jenny Buss wanted him.
Which tells you he is focused on getting a statue and doing whatever he's doing at UConn and calling it a day.
Yeah.
At least for
or he's just happy there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he's making a ton of money and won titles. He's got lots of job security. But the sport's changing. maybe it will revert back to where he could win it again. He had really good teams. But now you get those players, you're going to have a hard time keeping them there.
Because that's what they did so well, is they had chemistry and continuity and long tenured guys. And
he had guys who stayed there for 3-4 years who were playing in the NBA. It's going to be hard to pull that off year over year.
I do think Hurley would have been a really good fit at Kentucky.
I mean, Duke is benefiting from its reputation, and they've got, I mean, obviously Flag, but they've got another couple of young guys that are still in the one-and-done era. But Duke's not exactly dominating transfer portals. Flag's terrific, and he gives them a chance to win the whole damn thing. I mean, he's a stud. He's amazing. Kid's just 18. Wow. He's so good. So good. Can do anything. Mid-range, shoot the three, get to the rim, play in transition. He defends. He's big. Stud.
Is he National Player of the Year?
No, if he wants. Yeah, I mean, probably not because he's a freshman. But he's the one player in the whole tournament who could just go dominate the thing.
Yeah, I don't know what UNC is going to do if they fire him. That's a bit of an odd job search. They really tried to stay local, their guys. I mean, it's been that.
Yeah.
I kind of sort of feels like, though, they might go completely the opposite way, where you break up with the one kind and go 180 because you're just trying to get away from that.
Yeah.
Thinking it might.
I wish I knew a little bit more kind of, I guess, how it works there. I don't really have any contacts there at all other than like Taylor Zarzer. And he's not at North Carolina every day anymore.
Does he still live in Charlotte?
I think they live in Charlotte, yeah.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Some football, some golf for him?
I think a lot of golf.
A lot of golf.
I don't do as good a job of keeping up with people's. We will happy birthday and stuff, but I don't.
Some social media site tells you it's a birthday, and
people are busy. You lose track of people. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way.
And the years passed. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I mean, if we see each other, we'll catch up like it's yesterday, but it's hard to do.
Yeah,
I'm not good at it. A lot of people are better at it than me. I'm not good at that at all.
They'll sit down on Monday and go, hey, here's 5 people this week I need to reach back out to. Just say, hey, how you doing? What's up?
I mean, not really. I don't have time. It's the truth.
People always say that, but in actuality, it's much tougher than just, here's an hour on a Monday morning to send the text and the emails and how you thinking of you? I hope you have a great week.
I mean, I said this. I mean, going back to media days, that was 6 months that I was a blur. I mean, I didn't have time to check with call and visit with people. I mean, I did terribly at it.
A little bit of football news. Ross Dellinger has become just big picture beat at this point, pretty much every day for Yahoo. So little news there. We'll come back after the break. We'll talk about that in a second. First, tell you about Northeast Spark, fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages. Speeds up to 2 gigabits. That's up from 1 back in the day. Also, you can register for service. They can do that at AnySpark.com. AnySpark, get connected, stay local.
We are also brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with John. Give him some parameters. Give him a budget. He will help you with options that you're just not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or jedwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's Corinth Dental. BlueSky.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or 404-973-9901. Probably a little icy and snowy down there today, but in Cajun country in Broussard, Louisiana, their simple goal at Parrish Brewing Company is to make awesome craft brewed beer. The good news for you is you don't have to go to the brewery to find out for yourself. Wherever you go to get beer, your grocery store, your bar, package store, whatever the case may be, look for Parrish Brewing Company. They got Dr. Ghost in the Machine, Envy, Canebrake, and much more. If it says Parrish, you'll absolutely love it. Parrish Brewing Company out of Louisiana.
The Men's Clinic. They're in Madison and Brandon. If you're experiencing low energy levels, no motivation, decrease in muscularity, increased belly fat, and other issues, they can help you out. Go to themanthing.com to set up an appointment, see their offerings, see their locations, because their goal is simple. They want to make sure their patients remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They do that by optimizing testosterone, improving sleep, reducing inflammation, treating insulin resistance, and facilitating a healthy gut microbiome. So in Madison, that's 601-607-7869, or Brandon, 769-241-9012, themanthing.com. So Dellinger saying that the SEC and Big Ten getting back together again for another joint meeting of their ADs next month, where, quote, conference leaders are expected to deeply explore the future of the college football playoff format. We knew that was coming. He says the meeting is going to be set for February the 19th in New Orleans. As you said, it's always Dallas, Scottsdale, New Orleans, not in Topeka,
Nope.
not in Champaign or something. Just
never going to the Hampton Inn in Ruston. Nope.
Or even where it was in Covington, the NCAA went that time.
Yeah.
Don't have the AD meetings there.
No.
They don't get to see the Parrot.
No. It's a nice hotel. You can walk across the bridge into Cincinnati.
I think the Parrot's still alive.
I don't know.
How long do parrots live? What's Siri say? I would assume
my Siri's not working lately.
Really?
No.
I'm assuming like 20. I mean, got to be at least 20 years, right? Maybe way longer than that. Why do I think that?
Small parrots generally live 8 to 15 years.
Oh, that's it.
Large parrots can live 25 to 50 years.
There we go. Yeah. And that was a large parrot, correct?
It was big, yeah. The oldest known parrot was a blue and gold macaw named Charlie, who was at least 114 years old at the time.
114?
The time of his death.
Wow.
Some species of parrots can live up to 140 years. It's not often, it says, but that they can.
It's the current oldest living human, like 118 right now? Something like that?
I don't know. Things I just don't know. The oldest person to have ever lived was Jean Calment, a French woman who died in 1997 at the age of 122.
Okay. But current. Having a hard time with that.
The oldest person in the world today.
They were born June 8th, 1908. So
today, the oldest person alive is Japan's Tomiko Aituka. She's 116 years old.
Okay.
In the UK, the average life expectancy of a man is 79 years, a woman's 82.9 years. Expectancy is a bit lower in the US because we're all fat. Males, 75, women, 80.
That's what it says?
I included the fat part. That was mine.
Yeah, but the
yes.
numbers. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. All right.
She was born on Tomiko Ituka was born on May the 23rd, 1908. She currently lives in a nursing home in the city of Aishiya, Japan. She was on the volleyball team at her school, went on to marry when she was 20, had 2 daughters, 2 sons. During World War II, she managed the office of her husband's textile factory.
Okay.
He died in 1979.
Oh, wow.
She took up hiking and climbing in her 80s. She completed the Saigoku Kannon pilgrimage, a journey to 33 temples in the Kansai region. She's still now able to move independently, though she mainly uses a wheelchair.
Oh, wow. Okay. There you go.
Yep.
Good genes.
Apparently so.
That's safe to say.
The oldest man ever is Jiroman Kimura.
Uh-huh.
He lived to be 116 years and 54 days.
Okay.
He's Japanese. He was born on April 19th, 1897. He died on June the 12th, 2013. His quote, he told the Guinness Book of World Records, is to eat light to live long. And he stated that he continued to engage in agriculture until he was 90 years old.
There you go. Okay. So anyway, I got off. That's my fault. Got off on that aside. I will say that they are back to Dellinger. Again, they will again propose a format.
Dellinger will still be writing about this shit when he's 116.
He will, yes.
So, yeah.
That is, there you go.
Because nobody ever presents a solution. We just say we have problems.
Quote, many expect the Big Ten and perhaps the SEC too this time will again propose a format that assigns multiple automatic qualifiers to a single conference. There's discussion of a 14-team model that will designate 4 automatic qualifiers each for the SEC and the Big Ten, 2 each to the ACC and Big 12, 1 to the Group of 5 champion, and 1 at large, intended for Notre Dame if it finishes ranked inside the top 14. Again, why are we giving them this level of freaking leverage?
I don't know.
Why does nobody go say, just join the damn conference or you get the Group of 5 because you're not winning our conference?
I don't know.
Like, it's political pull, but
yeah,
oh my God.
I don't know.
Because it's harming the Big Ten and the SEC, and yet they just go, yes, please pull a chair up.
Yeah.
I guess because one of them knows they're going to have to jump in with them one day if they do.
It's why Notre Dame goes, why are we joining a conference? We don't need to join a conference. We're good.
We don't get a bye. That's our only negative.
And they go play an ACC schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame, I'm tired of everybody criticizing Notre Dame. They're winning.
Because everyone is allowing them to do it.
Yeah.
You could stop them.
Tell them no. But that's the word that doesn't get used in college athletics. Because it's so hyper-competitive.
You can't convince me why they shouldn't take the Group of 5 spot. You don't have to win a conference, but you get the Group of 5 spot.
Because
you're not in one of these conferences.
Because you want to fix it? Here's the fix. When players go, I want $1 million. Yeah, well, I want a beachfront house in Waikiki. Go kiss my ass.
But there's always going to be 5 schools that pay it.
There's going to be schools. We're covering one.
Yeah.
That it just means so much that they'll go, whatever, we'll do it.
Well, I just mean competition based in general. You're never going to get everybody to go, yeah, sure, we'll all pull back.
Well,
because everybody else can go, hold on a minute, so I can do it and they aren't.
Yeah, we'll win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and the players know that, so they get what they want, and you get this madness, as opposed to like in professional baseball, where they've got at the end of the 2026 season, the labor agreement ends. Decent chance there's not going to be. There's a decent to strong chance that the 2027 Major League Baseball season doesn't start on time.
Right.
And according to some people, won't start at all.
This name needs to be workshopped. Officials describe this as the 442211 model. Thanks. Yeah, I'm really going to remember that. With the top 2 seeds receiving a first-round bye. Oh, my God, stop doing the season bye. Also from Dellinger, quote, discussions are expected to go beyond the regular season, scheduling partnerships previously discussed with the possibility of what officials describe as an overhauled postseason for those programs not advancing to the CFP. I don't know what that means. Administrators are exploring ways to arrange more matchups that pair teams from the 2 leagues as opposed to their current bowl agreement pairings. Oh, okay. The bowl agreements expire. Yeah, I'll take a second. The bowl agreements expire after the 25 season. All of it's an effort to generate untapped revenue at a time when schools are bracing to spend more than $20 million annually in athlete revenue sharing concepts tied to the House antitrust settlement. They want to forego the current bowl pairings and just play SEC versus Big Ten games in the postseason, even beyond the college football playoff.
Okay.
They want to pair their 2 leagues together for bowl games. That's what they're saying. because they think more people will watch and more money will be made. Okay.
I mean, it won't be Ole Miss Duke, but
I got no problem with that. I also don't have a real strong opinion either way. Okay.
no,
Whatever you want to do.
whatever.
It's fine.
The meaningless games, do what you want with them. Whatever. Who cares? Yeah, Hayden makes a great point.
Yeah.
This is a great point.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to expect the people that put us in this mess to get us out. Yes. You nailed it. Unless you go private equity, at which point.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but you get a paycheck. You do. And then.
But it doesn't work. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit.
I mean, we're going to see an example of that fairly soon because someone is going to take Redburn's money on the private equity side and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to get a glimpse. I mean, their CEO, Cardinal, or whatever his name is, he was on that list yesterday.
They're going to walk in, though, and they're going to look at an athletics department and just go, no. Mm-hmm. And then.
No, I know. Somebody's going to get desperate enough, they take the money. And then we'll see what happens at that point.
But they'll blow through it.
Could never be us, but Netflix raising their prices on you guys again, and me too.
Can't do that.
I am beginning to get to a point where I wonder, what am I doing? And every little $3, you just go, it's $3. But you look up the premium plan now for Netflix going up to $24.99 a month for their offerings. Their ad-based service, their lowest, is going up to $7.99, I believe. As they say, their content spend last year or this year is $18 billion. They're spending $18 billion on content spends.
I do wonder what would happen to my life if I just cut it all out. Like,
they added 18 million subs.
Like, would I miss Netflix at times? Sure. But how many days out of the year, out of 365 days, how many days would I miss Netflix? 10?
But that number would go up if they get heavily into sports interest.
I guess.
Might not go to 50, but it would go up.
Like, I just start thinking, what would I miss if you took it away? Like, I'd miss the Major League Baseball extra innings. I watch it.
It's not on Netflix, though.
No, I know. So I'm going through things I'd miss. I'd miss NBA League Pass. I'm tempted after this past season to not do NFL Sunday Ticket again.
Okay. You didn't watch enough of it.
I did, but would I have missed it?
Okay.
Okay. Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Hulu, you could take it away.
And see, I use Hulu for my live TV, but I could go to YouTube TV and it doesn't matter.
So
how many shows do I watch on Hulu? Like the non-live TV service? Very, very, very few.
I was at the gym yesterday. I did my lift, and then after lifting, I got on the treadmill to walk, and I turned on Apple TV and started Shrinking season 2. Okay?
Oh, okay.
But if I never got to see Shrinking, would I miss it? I mean, the answer to that is no, probably not. It's good. I like it, but would I miss it? What would you miss? I think when you clean your closet out, okay, that's a perfectly good shirt. I never wear it. Would I miss it?
Yeah, I get it. Because, I mean, what's the clock? If you hadn't worn something in like 3 years or 2 years, throw it out because you don't actually miss it and want it.
Right.
There's not an.
There's a reason you're not wearing it.
Yeah. You buy new stuff and wear that instead. Yeah, I mean, do I occasionally get shows where I want to watch them and I'm probably frustrated if I don't have a service that gets them? Sure. But I'm kind of doing an a la carte thing. And sometimes I'll just buy it for the month to watch the show and then quit. Like, I have gotten better about that, where I don't just go 12 months on everything no matter what. I do that with Peacock a little bit. I found myself wanting Peacock more than a lot of other of the services for things they have.
See, we use Peacock because Carson watches soccer.
Yeah.
So that's something that we would miss. So therefore, you make the decision with that. No, we'll keep it.
I cut Apple TV after Ted Lasso and have not missed it at all. There's nothing on Apple TV that I care about whatsoever.
That's my point. And so if you wanted to just go watch, if they come out with season 4 of Ted Lasso? If they came out with that and you wanted to watch
Come
it,
back for a month.
You could come back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could wait till it was fully loaded and then watch it in a month and be done.
Netflix, I tell you, I don't know that I would miss. I mean, now if Netflix gets heavy into sports and gets some football package or something, okay, that's a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, and I guess I credit Netflix for this, when I just sit down somewhere and go, hey, I'm going to find a movie or a show, I always go to Netflix first to see if something pops out to me. So I wonder if it's just they've done such a good job of ingraining in my head that that's where I start.
Could be.
So if I find something there, then I go, okay, that's what we'll stick with, and that's what we'll do for a minute, or we'll do whatever at that point. But I use it less than ever because I go find a show beforehand a lot now that I want to watch and figure out where it is and then see how I want to adjust for that current time period. So I'm 25 is getting close to my, what are we doing with Netflix?
Yeah, where you just go, okay.
Now they say they are jumping into, again, sports heavier, and then we'll see. They have over 300 million subs.
Yeah. When you say jumping into sports, like they're going to have some NFL or?
Well, I mean, they already have, and they showed concept on Christmas Day that actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the buffering issues that the other one did, the Paul fight.
Yeah, we use Paramount Plus because that's how you can watch Champions League. So he wants to watch the soccer. So that's worth it.
Yeah, I have Paramount Plus.
I mean, he watches the soccer. It's the only sport. It's really the only sport that he watches live. Even as big of a basketball fan as he is, he doesn't really watch basketball live.
CEO for Netflix came out and said full season economics are very hard to make work in relation to Netflix trying to actually grab a rights package that they can't justify that or make that work. So he thinks it's going to be one-offs with Netflix where they buy games from sports, like a Christmas Day doubleheader or things along those lines. Not, oh, you're going to get the NBA on Netflix every Tuesday night. Does not believe that's where it's at.
I'm super interested. I probably won't live long enough to see it, but I am super interested to see what happens to these TV deals when the kids who are teenagers now are in their 40s. Pretty curious. They don't consume sports live. And you can throw an exception at me out there. I get it. That's not the point.
And is it simply where we are as a world, or is it an age and they will do it a little more and a little more as they get older? We don't know that answer yet.
Well, that's why newspapers died.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't do something in your formative years, you probably aren't going to do it as an adult. You're telling me that these kids who now don't sit and watch sports the way we sat and watched sports when we were that age are going to, when they get to be our age, sit and watch sports? I don't think so.
Probably not.
Human nature says that's not the case.
But you also hope they're watching 40-second videos less when they're 45 too, though. So what are they doing with their time?
I don't know. Like, the use of TikTok's way up.
That's my point. I mean, that's not healthy for society
in
any capacity.
But we're not really discussing society.
My point is I just wonder if there is a hit that at some point it has to reverse to some extent. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why Major League Baseball's in trouble. They know it too. Their audience is old.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to figure out how do we get young people to sit and watch a 2.5 hour contest. Good luck.
It's hard to do. Almost impossible, frankly.
I mean, young people don't sit and watch games. There are exceptions, but as a rule, not the way that a generation before them did.
They don't do commercials. Mm-mm. They get bothered by the shows that have the 45-second commercial in it.
Yeah. That's why so much, if you pay attention to so much of like the hey, the premium thing is ad-free.
Mm-hmm. because is it Tubi or something like that? Carly Ann will watch some movies on Tubi occasionally, and they've got these little 60-second things in them, and
I've seen that. I've
it's
never
like it's
looked at
stark with it, like, oh well, what's it's like.
Yeah.
No, we used to have 3.5 minutes to like go to the bathroom and grab the popcorn and get back on the couch, and you were trying to time that bad boy at the commercial break.
Yeah.
Totally different back in the day, and not where we are. So. Yeah, no, it's all different. There's no doubt. I just don't know. I feel like we can't just continue to go more and 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 more. No attention span. Like at some point, we're just devolving into grunts, and maybe we do. Maybe that is the answer. I don't know.
That's kind of the point.
Yeah, I know. So,
I mean, that was the design. There's a reason that TikTok in China is different than TikTok in the U.S.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah. All right, G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer MedSync, free prescriptions the same day each month, and take care of you. Also easy to transfer those medications. One phone call, they take care of the rest. So again, in Holly Springs or Oxford, that's 662-236-2222.
We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Co. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's guilt-free, alcohol alternative, a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, made with real fruit, no added sugar, low calories, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare and control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC CBD extracts. It's for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly. I'll have a mailbag to you at some point today or tonight. Might be something I finish when I go to the arena early and just sit down and work on. But anyway, it's be brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We're also brought to you by Kaiser Flooring. We'll have picks up at the end of the week for the NFC AFC Championship games with locations in Oxford and Batesville. Kaiser Flooring provides outstanding quality flooring products and installation services to residential and commercial properties. Kaiser carries the best in hardwood, laminate, vinyl, and tile flooring, as well as carpeting. Their goal is to offer amazing, durable flooring products and superior services to make your life easier. Kaiser installs your flooring quickly, delivers the best flooring experience possible. At Kaiser, they believe the key to success is dedication to customer service and establishing relationships with their customers. You can learn more and get a free estimate at kaiserflooring.com, or you can call them in Oxford at 662-830-3194, or in Batesville at 662-371-1912.
Citizens Bank, and at Citizens Bank, not just an account number, you're a valued member of the community. And now if you find yourself in the market for a mortgage, another reason to give them a try. I've been telling you about Whit Wilson, who now is one of the mortgage people at the Citizens Bank. You can stop in 902 Sisk Avenue, Suite E, discuss your options with him or any of their experienced bankers. They got a groundbreaking coming soon. Tell you more about that here in the coming days. And make sure you check out the School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com. So we talk about all that, the attention span situation. But one thing that is happening, I was reading a story on it this morning, is younger people are not drinking alcohol nearly to the level of any generation prior to them. There's a lot of talk through CDC and different things about putting cancer labels on alcoholic beverages at this point, similar to the tobacco packages back in the 50s or 60s or whenever that became a thing. I don't even know when, but somewhere in there. If Mad Men is correct, it was sometime around 1960. Maybe you can help me there. I don't know. But
I remember as a kid, all adults seemed to smoke. And then they stopped.
Yeah. But it's a deal where nobody thinks alcohol is good for you. So I was reading a story in the Wall Street Journal where everybody went, we get it, but we're not changing our habits because you put a thing on the thing. Like it's a superfluous thing in a lot of ways. But what is happening with the alcohol industry everywhere is that they're struggling relative to times because younger people simply are not drinking. They're more health conscious, not drinking as much, to the point that I think it's very likely the CDC changes even what they consider heavy drinking. Because right now, for a man, they consider heavy drinking more than 15 drinks a week. I wouldn't be able to function at that. Now I'm different. It affects me really, really worse as far as a sleep and a situation. It's
depends on
it's
my
only
week.
2+ a day. I understand that,
Yeah.
but
It depends on the week.
I haven't had. I mean, this is true. I haven't had 15 drinks in a week in 20 years. I mean, there's no way. I would never sleep. My heart rate would be over 100 every day. Like it metabolizes in me in a very strange way. But what you're seeing is every beverage company, every alcohol company is coming out with all these non-alcoholic drinks now that don't have the stigma that they used to. You know, when O'Doul's was the one that you had, you kind of made fun of it, and it was like, why are you drinking something that tastes like crap and has no alcohol? Like, what are you doing? But as time has gone on, those type of stigmas are gone. People are just ordering non-alcoholic drinks. Like mocktails has become much more popular in restaurants where you still get the fruit and the cocktail craft that goes along with it, but doesn't go with the way that works. I mean, it's kind of nuts. I guess I just sort of wonder, because you're seeing the bourbon market start to slightly pop a little bit.
Is that right?
I mean, the secondary stuff is still very expensive and whatnot, and a lot of stuff is still way oversaturated and too expensive. But there are some ways that it has changed, I think, even over the last 8 to 12 months, that is eye-opening to see. Kind of, we're no longer in this just crazy everything is whatever. Allocation's much more about availability and location than just we're going crazy no matter what for certain bottles. And yeah, I mean, Jay Crump says I'm 24 and we're drinking. I mean, sure, there's no doubt about that. But I think on the whole,
I know what you're saying, though.
Yeah,
I see
it's
that.
different.
I see that with I see that with the girls and their friends. Much more health aware than we were at that age. I was anyway. I can't speak for other people.
Oh yeah, sure.
I mean,
thinking about
they
it,
eat far healthier than I ate at 22, 23.
Yeah, I do. I think it's down.
They're
especially
far
the
more
generation.
exercise conscious than probably I was at that age.
I think you're having I think people are minimizing their alcohol intake at a younger age than ever before. I think maybe that's the way to do it. You still have your periods. I mean, whatever.
But on a
the 30-year-old,
yeah, from a day-to-day standpoint, yeah, I think it's different probably. I mean, I have a very, very narrow frame of reference and will freely admit
sure.
that. Yeah, so I can't speak to.
And we could try it. I mean, I do think that's one of the positives that have come out of social media, if you take it in the right context, is exercise influencers has become so massive with people you follow on YouTube and whatnot. And you got to be careful because there's sometimes no science behind it. But in general, healthier lifestyles, lower alcohol, more movement, generalities that are good for any human being to be doing. Eat less, eat healthier, cut some alcohol out, and increase your exercise. Whatever that looks like. All that stuff plays into it. So it's not as romanticized as the past, I don't think. Probably. In entertainment and culture and movies, TV.
Yeah.
Slight shifts there a little bit.
I'm the wrong person. Yeah.
So I don't know. I was reading that this morning and went, no, I completely get it. I think that you're seeing more companies able to do kind of the Celsius type thing, rain kind of thing, those kind of deals. But because that's a secondary tributary of it. That's connected in a way. You're grabbing that in some different ways than you would something else. It's not water, normal soft drink consumption. I mean, I would assume soft drink consumption is way down. I don't know that, but
I would think
my
so.
hunch would be that it is.
I would think so.
So, there's my spiel for. I mean, Cam is right. A lot of people started drinking when the pandemic started. I do think we're coming out of that after it ended. A lot of people adjusted from not being home every day.
And we all got pardoned, so we're good.
I mean, I remember those things because you would, when it first started, you go, hang on, are they delivering the alcohol? Do you have to go pick it up? You have to come outside. We were all really worried about the logistics of the liquor store at the time and how that operated or didn't operate in the moment. But it was 5 years. Crazy. Huh. Wicked. I think the booze-soaked pandemic lockdown ended people's appetite. Huh.
There was a lot of drinking
Yeah.
that spring, that summer.
SPD says my neighbors won't let their kids come to my house and play because I smoke cigars. So, interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there will be history. There will be books and books and books written about 2020. That's pretty wild time.
All the messaging. Yeah.
Pretty wild time that we had forced on us.
Does it feel 2 weeks ago or does it feel a decade ago? You feel like now that it's almost close to 5 years, does it feel very recent or very long ago?
It's pretty recent.
In your head?
Yeah, I'm one of the people that's still pretty angry about it. I'm kind of blown away by the people who aren't angry about it. And what happened? I mean, not to get political, but what happened on Monday morning was an admission that it was a crime. That was an absolute admission that the people that did that were criminals. My opinion. You can feel free to disagree, but you won't talk me out of my stance.
Yeah, people either gained weight or lost a ton of weight during the pandemic. Hardly anybody stayed the same. You got healthier or you got way worse. One or the other.
But the people who were most responsible for messaging never said, hey, if you're young and fit, you're fine. Get out, exercise. If you're overweight, get out, go for long walks, get some exercise. Instead, it was no stay in. We're going to close down the basketball goals. We're going to close down the parks. It was criminal. It was all directed at getting you a shot.
Yeah, I mean, they're saying it feels like yesterday. And I'm kind of, I don't know. I have moments where it feels yesterday and moments where I go, wow, that was whatever. I kind of go way back and forth on it as time goes on.
I think it helped you. This isn't a knock at all. It helped you that your child was so young.
Mm-hmm.
I think had you had high school / college aged kids, I think you would have had a different view.
My one frustration that still became very problematic for me was when they went back to school, but masks were required because my kid was at such a development age where they needed to see mouths move. Mm-hmm. That was my biggest kid related thing was because I mean, even like doing something like that was the thing was hey, now that you need the ability to watch mouths and see for enunciations and things like that. That really bothered me.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure the Oxford School District is thrilled that I'm almost out because I was very critical of what they did. I mean, incredibly critical of what they did. I stopped going to church because of it. I was so angry at what was being done. I could see through it. I knew what it was, and I was right. I mean, Monday for me, not the Trump part, the pardon part. Monday to me was validating. I said I was right. To me, it validated everything that I thought of it. I can get angry on that quick. There was damage that was done to people, to young people, to a lot of people, and it was done intentionally. And it was done without caring, with complete malice, a complete disregard for what it was doing to regular people. It was criminal. And that was admitted because they were pardoned of their crimes. It's a hell of a note. It's hard to even believe that we went through that. I'd like to think that we wouldn't fall for that again.
Board was asking next Hendrickson show.
I don't know. I think it's next week, but okay. I'm not positive. I haven't. We did one last week, right?
You did, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be next week.
Okay. Ole Miss, Texas A&M, 8:00 tonight from the Pavilion.
But Ole Miss. The popularity of that show. It's not me. Mm-hmm. It's not me. I'm an idiot. But someone like him, being as popular, Josh, as popular as he is I think reflective of a lot of people sharing my sentiment.
Oh, there's a huge group. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think people look at that and go, this was insane. It was wild. It was a wild time to be alive. I mean, I watched I watched inside my house, a house that had Wi-Fi and lots of space, TVs, backyard, the whole deal. I watched 2/3 of my kids deteriorate mentally. Pretty hell of a note. If it happened, if that was happening to me,
it's everywhere.
I mean, that was bad. It was bad.
Next one, 2 weeks. Had one last week. You also had Icon last week as well. So that stuff out. MPW Digital, as always, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're getting your podcast. And we'll have coverage, rebelgrove.com tonight, Ole Miss and A&M. Jeffrey tomorrow. Painter's guys tomorrow afternoon, I assume. So we'll have all that rest of the week, and we will talk to you again soon. Take care. Stay safe. Talk to you then.